Hey, good evening or good afternoon, YouTube. So I just wanted to go live. Wanted to go live the last couple of days, but had some things that came up. So figured I'd go live today. Definitely need to trim up this face a little bit, looking kind of rough. But I will get this. I will line up my beard probably in the next couple hours or so. But welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm Byron. My channel's tag is Traveling with Promise. I am a avid hiker, explorer. Love traveling from state to state when I have the time. Love nature as a whole. And during football season, I go to all the 49er games. So I want to start out by saying, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe, like, comment, and also I'll hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss out on any of my lives or anything. So I do have a few updates I wish to provide. So first thing I'm gonna say is thank you to everyone who subscribed so far. I'm currently at 1,185 subscribers. So thanks so much for everyone's contribution to my channel. Whether you're giving me comments, liking my content, or subscribing. So I really appreciate you for doing that for me. Next life update would be I did get an offer for the federal government position in DC a couple of days ago. So thank you for everyone who's prayed for me, everyone who's always had some good comments of encouraging words and etc. I am going to wait a couple more days before I accept the firm offer because I do have a few more offers, tentative offers that could come within the next few weeks. I've interviewed several times throughout the last 3 weeks with different agencies. I do have some interviews scheduled for next week as well. So I don't want to just accept the first offer that comes to mind, especially when I'm in Colorado and that position is in DC. Not a preference for me. I would like to be west of Colorado or within Colorado. That way, it make life easier for me as it relates to football season, but also things to do. So, being someone who enjoys hiking and just traveling, it's just so much things to do from Colorado to Cali up to Idaho, Montana, and Washington State, Oregon. A lot of places to hike. So I don't want to outright move back to the East Coast for those reasons. But the most recent hike that I did, I went back to the Brainard Rec area. Had a blast there. I went there a few months ago. It was snow all over the trails, um, and a lot of great waterfalls. So when I went a couple days ago, it recently snowed here in Colorado in that area, and yeah, some droplets of snow, nothing crazy, no slip hazards or anything like that. But I will say this, being that it's fall, a lot of the waterfalls, a lot of the waterfalls that were there, actually, my headphones died. A lot of the waterfalls that were there were pretty much dried up. So it was a bummer that the waterfalls that I really wanted to see again were pretty much just a drought or just had like some streams of water with nothing crazy. All right, if you're joining the live, I have 52 people in here. Thanks for joining my live. I'm just giving a few updates thus far. Most recently, if you're new to the channel, I've been in the process of changing careers over the last few months, and I did get a federal job offer a couple days ago in DC with the VA. So thank you everyone who's wished me luck and had some encouraging words. But back to the recent hike. So I went back to the Lake Mitchell and Long Lake trailheads. The first place I went was at Lake Mitchell. I actually hiked up to Lake Mitchell, and then I went to Blue Lake. Blue Lake this time wasn't frozen, which was great. So got a chance to take a lot of great pictures and videos of Blue Lake. It's a nice blue-green lake. It definitely is a hidden gem if you're someone who doesn't mind hiking about 6 to 7 miles. Um, the Brainard Rec area is a nice place to go hiking. A lot of great trails, a lot of things to do there. But what made that hike even special is I got a chance to see three mooses on the trail, a mama moose and a baby moose, and I got a chance to see a bull moose as well. But the bull moose took the show. It was literally located right off the trail going up to Blue Lake, and it just sat there. All of the all the mooses that I saw pretty much were just lying down on the ground, just relaxing each time. Especially that bull moose. That's probably the biggest moose I've ever seen in my life. And I literally was within 2 or 3 feet of the moose. Took a lot of great short videos, a few long form videos, and etc. The baby moose and the mama moose, I saw them near Mitchell Lake at the beginning. They were just in the corner, and the baby moose was pretty much laying down in the snow the whole time, and the mama moose was about maybe a couple feet away from the baby moose. But I had a blast just taking footage of the baby moose and the mama moose as well. And then on my way back from Blue Lake, the mama moose and the baby moose was pretty much at Mitchell Lake near the meadows, just eating plants, drinking water out of the lake, and etc. So it's a lot of scenic views that I saw there. All right, from Mitchell Lake, I decided to go back to Long Lake because when I went there a couple months ago, I hiked both trailheads again. So I did Long Lake Trailhead and then Mitchell. This time I just reversed it. I went to Mitchell Lake first and then did Long Lake second because I missed Lake Isabel the last time I went there. So I decided to avenge that trail. So I parked at Long Lake because last time when I went to Brainard, I didn't have a time entry, so I had to hike 2.5 miles from the free parking lot and then hike, which I ended up doing about 23 miles that day, which I made sure that I got a reservation this time. So luckily I was able to get a Mitchell Lake day pass the night before I went hiking. So I parked at Mitchell, did those couple hikes, and then I drove down the hill and went back to Long Lake and parked there. But the bummer part about both trailheads was again the waterfalls. So there were a couple waterfalls that were on Long Lake that had some great waterfall streams. They were also dried up, and the biggest bummer of all is when I got to Lake Isabel. Like Lake Isabel was pretty much dried up as well. The canal and where the waterfalls would have flowed into Lake Isabel, which pretty much dried up. It looked like a small pond, and to get your hopes up on a trail and you get there and it looked like that, I was pretty much bummed out about it. Another thing too I looked at was the signage at Brainard wasn't the best either because when I got to Long Lake last time, I started on a Gene Lonning trailhead, and then when I got to the first sign after that, it had Pawnee Pass and Isabel Glacier. There's no signs for Lake Isabel other than right at the trailhead before you start. It'll say that Lake Isabel is 2 miles away, and there's still no sign for it. So I started on that same trailhead that I did before, and I didn't see another sign for Lake Isabel. So I asked a couple hikers that I got on the trailhead. I was like, I've hiked over 2 miles so far. Where's Lake Isabel? Where's it located? So a couple hikers said, yeah, once you go around the corner, you'll see a sign for Lake Isabel. There was no sign for Lake Isabel. Only sign was the sign I saw last time, which is Sapphire Pass and Isabel Glacier. So I was like, well, I know if I keep straight, I would have been right back at the entry point again as I was before. So I went against my, well, I ain't gonna say I went against my better judgment, because that's the only way, that's probably was the only place where Lake Isabel could have been. So I actually started hiking up. It was definitely a lot of elevation getting up to that point. But again, the disappointment of when I got there, seeing that it was pretty much dried up, sucks. So I would just say, if you're someone who loves to hike, if you're considering going to Colorado this time of the year, you're probably not going to see as much waterfalls for certain places. But during this time of the year, most people come to Colorado for the foliage, So you'll see a lot of the aspens, you'll see a lot of the leaves, the yellow leaves, the orange leaves, and etc. Great viewpoints. I didn't know exactly what a aspen was until I met a few more hikers on the trail. So it was a great hike as a whole. Not sure where I'm gonna go hiking next for in Colorado, because with that offer letter that I received a couple of days ago, I can actually start that new position in less than 3 weeks. But I will have to pretty much go to my storage unit, get me a U-Haul or a Penske truck, and start heading to DC. So I'm gonna see what's going on. 'Cause I do have again, I believe I do have a couple more opportunities that may also come available. The cost of living in DC is considerably higher than Colorado, and Colorado cost of living is already high. So with the pay scale that I was offered for DC, I'm a numbers person, so me throwing I grabbed my spreadsheet, started doing an analysis with the cost of living, potential bills. I called my insurance company just to see if my car insurance would go up moving to DC. I looked at gas prices, I looked at apartments, and etc. And DC is very, very expensive. Just looking at where I'm at right now in Colorado, my rent is like $2,039, but that comes with free internet and all of that. In DC, the cheapest apartments I've seen in that area within a 15-mile span is like $3,300. I don't have the square feet that I have here in Colorado or that I had in Delaware. The apartments are not up to date either. Most of those apartments don't have like stainless steel appliances like I'm accustomed to that I had in Delaware and here in Colorado, and no balconies or anything like that. Another thing I looked at was gas prices in DC is higher than Colorado as well, and it's just as a whole. I really want to just make sure that I'm not just accepting an offer just to accept it. Anything that I do in life, I like to think about it. I like to look at the pros and the cons and actually see what's best for me before I make that decision. A lot of things that I look at in life, it has to make sense for me to take action on it, and that's what I'm looking at with that. So I've had probably over the last 3 weeks, I've had about 15 interviews, which is definitely promising. And with the fiscal year starting over with the federal government on the 1st of October, most of the teams will have the budget to bring in new people. Even today alone, I had an interview earlier this morning for a role, but I had received about 6 different calls today regarding interviews for next week, regarding some roles. So I'm excited about just this next chapter in my life. I would just tell anyone that's like me, that's maybe changing careers or just got a lot of things on your mind, make sure that you weigh out the pros and the cons, and the advantages and disadvantages of decisions that you may make. You don't want to just all of a sudden be in a mode in which you're making a decision based on being desperate compared to what's good for you. Um, everything that everything that's offered to you, you don't have to take. Is what I was telling anyone. What I've always said with anything in life, and with me changing careers this time, I want to be where I want it, but I want my value to be considered in my any offer that I receive. I feel like I bring a lot to the table in any career that I've been in. So I definitely don't want to go in a new role in which I'm making considerably less. I don't want to go to a area in which the cost of living is higher than it is right now, and the pay is I cheaper than where I'm currently located. So that's you don't want to make a desperation move and end up being in a impoverished state. Get into a situation in which you get the opportunity to change careers is great, but don't just make a decision just to make it. So that's one thing I would tell anyone as it relates to any job or any decision you got to make. Just make sure you go to the drawing board. Make sure you look at everything, pros, cons, good, bad, and make a decision accordingly to that. But other than that, I'm doing great. I hope everyone else is doing fine as well. Again, everyone, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. I've been on YouTube now going on 4 months and 8 days, and it's been a blessing. I've had a chance to share a lot of my experiences that I've experienced currently or in the past with everyone. Got a lot of great reviews from everyone who's visited my channel, looked at my content. If you are new to the channel, I have also created a lot of playlists. So if you're someone who don't have the time to look at thousands of videos, or you're just curious about a certain location that I've been to before, you'll see a lot of playlists on my channel. So I've been to several national parks previously, so you'll see different playlists just for those different national parks. I've been a lot of places that had great lakes, a lot of places that had great oceans. I have playlists just for those. So beautiful lake views is a playlist. Same thing for oceans. I do have a master playlist for waterfalls. But if you want to see waterfalls at different places that I visited, I also have waterfalls specifically for those places. So waterfalls in Rocky Mountain National Park, waterfalls at Glacier, waterfalls at Roosevelt Forest, and etc. So I just want to make my channel more simplistic as it can be. That way, if you come to my channel or you're just curious about subscribing, you get the opportunity just to see what's on my channel. So even during football season, I do go to a lot of the Niner games, being a season ticket holder. So you'll see me also having videos of my 49er games, and etc. So again, everyone, it's been a good ride so far. So continue to rock with me. Continue to hit the notification bell. That way, you can definitely get a chance to see my updated content. I do plan on continuing to get back consistently going live, whether it's a few days out of the week or etc. So I am definitely going to do that. I had a lot of people reach out asking when next time you're going to go live. Make sure we like when you go live. So I'm gonna definitely try to maintain that standard and getting back to going live. I know at one point I went live 3 or 4 weeks straight. Had fun doing that. Um, Sometimes when I went live, it was during the day, or sometimes I went live at night just to give others opportunities to see me during different parts of the day. So I definitely plan on doing that as well. But what's next on the agenda? I'm probably gonna go back to Rocky just to check out the foliage during this time of the year because I've been to Rocky 12 times now. But it's a great scene during this time of the year in which you can see the aspens and the different color schemes from the fall there. So I don't know exactly when I may go. It's Friday right now. I know for me, if I want to go to Bear Lake, I got to be inside the gate before 5 a.m. because it requires a time entry reservation. So I'm gonna I'm gonna see because where I'm located at is 57 miles away, which is not bad of a drive. 57 miles there and back. So it's it's definitely a great place to be. I know I was pretty much rocking mine out over the last few months because 2 years ago was my first time visiting Rocky, but within the last 4 months or 3 months, I've been to Rocky 11 times. So, but I'm pretty excited about the future, everyone. Again, one message I will always tell everyone is don't give up on your goals and your dreams. Just definitely be someone who is going to be career minded. Make sure you're intentional in everything that you want to do in life. But one of the biggest things I would tell anyone is don't settle. Know your worth, know your value as a whole, whether it's relationships, whether it's careers, or just the circles that you keep. Just make sure that you're making decisions that's best for you at all times. Don't give in. Stay positive no matter what, and at all times just keep motivating yourself. I know when I started this channel 4 months ago, I had a crazy goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers in 3 months. Being someone who have a technology background and everything, but I didn't have a clue about what to do with YouTube. I just knew that I had about 20 years worth of good content that I've gathered up, and and I capture content weekly. I said, why not share it with the world? People may be able to live through me on places that they wanted to go visit that they never can go to, or if they or I may have been someplace that they can look at my content and say, hey, I've seen what this place has to offer. Now I'll go ahead and go since I've seen someone that actually took footage and content about that place. So it can be multiple meanings why I wanted to share my life with the world. So it's just a matter of just I'm a giver. I'm someone who always will give my last. I'm a helper and a setter. Anything that I've experienced in life, any place I've visited, I would share it with the world because wherever I've been through, maybe it would be something that could help someone else. Same thing that I had the same concept when I'm on a hiking trail. So usually when I'm on a hiking trail, if I'm going up and someone's coming down, I usually get with whoever coming down and ask them how does it look up there? Is the work going? There's questions that I want to ask that way I don't get my hopes up when I get up to a place if it's not to my standards and everything. And it's vice versa for me when I'm going back downhill. When I'm going back downhill on different hikes, I'll share my experience to everyone who's going up. That way, they can decide if they want to keep going up, or if it's anything that I've seen, whether it's wildlife like a moose or a deer, a bear or something. I always want to share anything that I've witnessed. That way, I can at least pay it forward and let that person know that hey, this is what you need to look at when you get up there. But what I like the most about this last trip at Brainard is I got a chance to meet a lot of great hikers going up the trail and then coming back down. But most importantly, I met a friend on the way back. Like we conversed a couple times near Lake Isabel, and we just chatted while we were up there. Had some laughing. I had some stories that I shared with that individual because the joke that I had with everyone that I saw going down and they were going up was, don't waste your time going up there. It's pretty much a disappearing lake. It looks like a pond. If people had told me what it looked like before I traveled up, I wouldn't have traveled up type deal. So I made it a joke. So and I with that particular person, that person, we just had a good vibe. Like we chatted up near Lake Isabel, and then as we were both hiking down, we just traded a lot of stories. Whether it was hiking place, or any place that we've hiked so far, Fort any 14ers, different states. It's almost like every subject we had some connection there. Whether it was states that we've occupied, things we like to do outside of work, and etc. And it got us both through the hike. Being able to meet some people on a trail and then conversing with someone all the way down from a hike, and it didn't get weird. I know when I meet people, I can be very talkative, even though I'm an introvert. But if it's certain subject matters, I can share different examples of different things. So that pretty much made my hike on the way back. So hiking down 4 miles down from Lake Isabel, got a chance to meet someone, but it was cool. A lot of great symmetry among our travels and etc. So I say when it comes down to hiking, it's always good to meet new people. If you got a chance to trade information or anything like that, connecting with new people is not bad. Networking is not bad at all either. So I'm hoping that to the point which when I go hiking, I meet more and more people and be able to share different experiences, be able to see some of their content as well, be able to follow them, and etc. So I would just say when you're going on a hike, don't be afraid to just have some conversations with people. Just break the ice. I mean, I probably had at least about 13, 14 hikers that I had convos with when I went hiking. Most of the time, it's just saying hello in passing, or most of my talk would be on the way down. So if I'm going down from a trail, I connect with everyone who's going up. And I'll just let them know, hey, it's a moose 2 miles up. Just be careful. It's snow on the trail, or there's a couple holes over here. Make sure you avoid those holes, any slippage, how the views are. I like to share all of that while I'm on a trail. So just make sure that if you have a chance to share in the experiences or anything like that, definitely do so. It can be a matter of, I ain't gonna say a matter of life or death, but it can definitely be a way to just have someone make a decision if they want to maintain hiking on a trail or something like that. But I haven't been on YouTube in a couple weeks, so I'll go ahead and just go over a few more things as well. Looks like I've had 648 people view my live so far, which is a record for me. So thank you for hopping on my live, everyone. This is very unexpected. I'm pretty excited that a lot of people is tuning in to my live, so that lets me know that I'm doing something good as a whole. So I'll do a little story time here just to give you a little bit about myself. So if you're new to the channel, again, I'm Byron. I've been on YouTube for about 4 months. I'm from South Carolina. I moved to Colorado last year. I've been to 42 states. I've been to 32 countries. I've traveled a lot of great places. So memorable moments that I've had so far overseas. I've been to Dubai. I've been to the Bahamas. Been to the Maldives, Bora Bora. Most recently, I went to Brazil, Rio, for my birthday in December. Had a blast, and I got a chance to go hiking up there as well at the national park. Got a chance to see some waterfalls there. The most scenic place I've visited so far, by a short margin, is on the Maldives. Maldives has been my favorite vacation so far. I went there for 5 days a few years ago. Um, Paris was my second most scenic place that I visited. I had a lot of great fun. My biggest regret is not going to Disneyland. I went to nearly every place you can go to in Paris and didn't go there. I went to the Palace of Versailles. I went to the Eiffel Tower. The Notre Dame had just burned up like a few months prior to, but I did go to a another chapel. I think a Saint German chapel. Went to where else did I go? Went to the Louvre. Took a lot of great videos and pictures of the Louvre. And I went to a few more places there. It was an amazing trip in Paris. Um, there, states wise, like I said, I've been to 42 of them. The only states I haven't gone to so far is Oregon, North Dakota, Nebraska. Let's see here, New Mexico, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and Rhode Island. So those are the only 8 states I haven't gone to yet. As a whole, I do plan on going to a few of those because a few of them had national parks. So Oregon, New Mexico, and Maine for sure. I'm gonna go to those states. But the remaining states, I'll have to see. Not sure if it's anything that's worthwhile in Nebraska or North Dakota, but I'm sure Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont may have parks there, so I'll definitely go check those out. But one of the best trips I've ever had was a few years ago. I did a 2-week hiking trail trip. So my plan initially was to go to Zion National Park, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, then Yellowstone, Mount Rushmore. Those are the 5 places I considered going. But I booked my trip to Salt Lake City, and I figured I would drive south to go to Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Zion, which I'm going to Zion every year, at least once or twice a year. And then I would drive back up to Salt Lake City and then just go to Yellowstone. And then just fly to South Dakota to go to Mount Rushmore and then make my trip back. But I heard so much about Grand Tetons and Glacier to the point in which those two sound way better than Capitol Reef and Canyonlands, even though I've been wanting to go to those two for a while. So what I did was I actually changed up my itinerary. I had to book an additional flight from Salt Lake City to Cozumel, because that's where Glacier is. But that was probably one of the best moves I've ever made in my life. So the new itinerary was I went to Zion National Park, and then Grand Canyon wasn't too far from Zion. I think it was the North Rim. I went to North Rim at Grand Canyon, and then I drove back to Salt Lake City. Then I went to Grand Tetons. Then I went to Yellowstone, because Yellowstone is 58 miles or 50-something miles out the south gate of Grand Tetons. So if you're someone who is going to Yellowstone National Park, go ahead go to the Grand Tetons. Grand Tetons is literally right there. If you take the side entry gate, you won't have to go through the other side of Yellowstone. That's a couple hours away or a flight away. If you go through the south gate, you can get to a lot of the big places like Old Faithful and all those, not too far from the south gate. And after I did Yellowstone, I went to Glacier, stayed there for a couple of days, and then I went to Mount Rushmore, and then I went to Badlands National Park. I added that to the itinerary as well. So I added Grand Canyon, Grand Tetons, Glacier, and Badlands to my itinerary. So I'm gonna give a story here of how the trip went. So Zion National Park, I've gone there at least probably about 15, 16 times. That was my very first national park that I visited, and that was my favorite national park for several years until I got to Grand Tetons. So went to Zion National Park. I love going to the Pirates Trail. I went back to Angel's Landing, and I went back to the Watchman Trail. And then I was there for a couple of days, and I went to Grand Canyon. If you're someone who's afraid of hikes, Grand Canyon may not be the place for you. But I will say with the Grand Canyon, they do have a lot of platforms on that north rim. So if you go there, you can actually get a lot of scenic views. But it does look weird when you're driving and you're seeing trees, and then you're seeing a mountain, but it's a big hole in the middle. It's definitely something that could get you off your rockers for a little bit, because I know with me, I'm not gonna say I'm afraid of hikes, but it's a situation in which the closer I get to something like that, it'll make me think about it. That comes to mind when it comes down to I went to Bryce Canyon a couple years ago. You start at the top of the mountain, you hike down in the valley. Um, that was a different situation story for me, and the arches and etc. So if I have more time, I'll bring it up on the back end. It's probably a laughable moment um, about my arches and my Bryce's National Park trip. All right, but I made Grand Teton. It's not Grand Teton. Grand Canyon was just a day trip, so I literally just went there, went to about 6 different trails, and then got back in my car, and then just drove back to Salt Lake City. Stayed the night at the Embassy Suites. That's my favorite Hilton brand and hotel brand. And then the next day I drove up to Grand Teton. So if you're someone who is into taking those type of trips, you can do what I did, was flying to Salt Lake City and drive a few hours north, south, east, or west to get to another national park. But if you're someone who don't want to drive that much of a distance, you can fly into Jackson Hole. If you fly into Jackson Hole, Wyoming, it's literally 10 minutes from, or 10 miles from Grand Tetons. Grand Tetons is literally right outside of the Jackson Hole Airport. So what that means in your case is, if you decide to fly into Jackson Hole, you can pretty much get to the Grand Tetons and Yellowstone inside of 60 miles, which is a game changer for you. It'll save you money as well, because you could fly to the other airport that's north of Jackson Hole to get into Yellowstone, but that entry gate is the gate that's the most populated. Those lines would be crazy long. When I took the south gate from Grand Tetons into Yellowstone, little to no traffic, and I was able to get to all the landmarks pretty easy there. So got to Grand Tetons, got to there, stayed at the Marriott at the Spring Hill Suites. That's my favorite Marriott hotel brand. So went there, got settled in, and then I went hiking the next day at Grand Tetons. So when I got to Grand Tetons, I started at the Taggart Trailhead. So I actually saw a lot of great lakes on that trail, a lot of reflective lakes as well. So those reflective lakes pretty much had a nice body of water, and then you can see the mountains reflecting off it. Great scenery there. I went to Lee Lake, Bradley Lake, Taggart Lake, and a couple more of the lakes. Not much elevation doing those trails. A lot of great scenic views, etc. I had a blast there. Um, Me being a tech guy, I actually found a way to just record pictures of myself and videos without having to hold the phone in my hand. So I actually propped things up on a tree and got to the lakeside and just took some pictures. I just had to say smile or say cheese, and my Android would take a picture as long as they heard me. So that was my first time playing around with well, I ain't gonna say first time playing around with my phone, but trying to see a way to make life easier for me being a solo hiker. So it's things like that I now can do on my own, because now I know if I go hiking, if I can prop my phone up on something, then I'll be able to just literally say cheese or say smile, and Andrew gonna take a picture of me. So that's pretty dope on that end. So after the Taggart outlet, I'm mine in the shopping mode right now. But after the Taggart Trailhead, I went to the Jenny Lake Trailhead, which is probably outside of the Marmot Row or that barn in Grand Tetons. Jenny Lake is probably the most populated area there. Great, beautiful scenery. That lake is long and beautiful as a whole. I went to Jenny Lake, but the inspirational point was probably one of the best views I've seen at a trailhead. It does have a lot of elevation. It's not quite a tenor. It's about like 9,000 elevation, but beautiful viewpoints from the mountainside. You can see a lot of structures from Inspirational Point. You can look down to Jenny Lake. Also on that trailhead, I got a chance to see Hidden Falls. Hidden Falls is a towering waterfall from the from the heavens. It's just flowing straight down. Um, Stones. Very. It's a populated place. A lot of people go there and take a dip, or they may take their kids or family members there and just enjoy that beautiful structure of Hidden Falls. So if you got time to go to Grand Tetons, definitely go to the Taggart Trailhead. Check out Lee Lake and Bradley Lake. If you got a chance to go to Jenny Lake, definitely go. There's a lot of parks at Jenny Lake compared to the Taggart Trailhead. The Taggart Trailhead may only have 20 parking spots. But if you go to Jenny's Lake, being that's probably like the staple of Grand Tetons. There's hundreds of parks there, so definitely go there as well. After that, I did go to a couple other places at Grand Tetons. I went to the Snake River Outlook. It had a great viewpoint. It was around sunset, so you can see uh, a good viewpoint of the Grand Tetons from there. I also went to Cunningham's cabin. It's a cabin in the middle of the middle of of the Grand Tetons, in which you can walk in, take pictures, and etc. I went to the Jackson Dam, which is a nice flowing dam that's on the outskirts of Grand Tetons. Stayed there for a little bit. I also went to the Chapel of the Sacred Souls, or Sacred Heart, I believe. That was a great experience. It's a church there, in which you can walk in, take pictures of the pulpit, the pews, and etc. But it's a nice lake behind it. Like I've never seen a viewpoint like that as well. Like if you leaving the chapel and just walking behind it, it has rock beds out there that's pretty much of different hues of rocks. I saw blue rocks, I saw burgundy rocks, gray rocks, red rocks, multicolored green rocks, etc. And then you got the whole outlook of a lake. I don't know what kind of lake that is, but you can see that lake goes on for miles until you can't even see anything past it. So, and you had the mountains on the backside of it. So it wasn't a situation in which the river didn't stop. I mean, the lake didn't stop, but the mountains were to the left and right, and then the water just went back. It was a great viewpoint there. Then I went to Oxford Bend. It's like a S-shaped river with another scenic view there. That was also amazing. I was gonna go to the barn there at Grand Tetons, but I ran out of time because going on a 2 week hiking trip. Oftentimes, you may only have a couple of days at each park to explore, and then some parks you just had to make it a day trip. So, I I went to Grand Teton for 2 days, which pretty much limited the time I could have at Yellowstone because I had to take a flight 2 days later. So went back to my hotel after I left Grand Tetons, and the next day I drove to Yellowstone. I did find a great pizza spot that was near the South Gate on my way to Yellowstone. Great pizza. If you got a chance to check it out on at the Grand Tetons, if you're going towards the South Gate, there you'll see a road for the Jackson. You have a Jackson Lounge there, And then you'll also see the pizza spot name. Definitely, if you're someone who into pizza, you'll definitely love that. So I went to Yellowstone. Yellowstone is probably one of the most scenic places that I've visited so far. Um, that was a day trip for me, so I pretty much went to a lot of places within that one day. So the first place that I went was the Old Faithful Monument. So at the Old Faithful Monument, they probably have about 40 to 50 different glaciers that you can see, and then you got the basin area in which you have more water, more geysers. So I went. So some of the geysers that drew my attention, of course, was Old Faithful. Old Faithful erupts every day, but what usually happens is each one of those glaciers they have when the last time it erupted and the next potential time that it will erupt. Old Faithful erupts every day, so it'll give you an estimate of when it's gonna erupt. I will say this: if you go there and you see that the eruption time is going to be within the next hour, I would just stay right there at Old Faithful because they got benches there. The crowds get there very very fast. So I would just say be mindful of that if you're going to the actual Old Faithful geyser. You want to get you a good seat on the benches. That way you can have a good viewpoint of it. Another memorable geyser there is the Beach Spring was a good one. Castle, the Castle geyser was like a big, huge geyser that just constantly erupted throughout. The Cliff geyser, it was like a riverbed, but that is a geyser, so definitely not a place you can go swimming in. Then me being someone who like different bright colors, you did have the Morning Glory pool was another great place. A geyser there that's pretty much yellow, green, blue, orange, and etc. Um, and then I found a lot of nice like baby blue or iceberg blue color geysers that was there. So I saw the gem pool, the Archulate pool was a nice baby blue geyser. But one of my main goals when I got there was I wanted to see the Sapphire pool. Blue is my favorite color, so that Sapphire pool was immaculate. It's a blue geyser, in which it's kind of long, and you actually could see inside of the Sapphire pool. It goes very very deep in the ground, and you can see a lot of the fumes coming from it, a lot of bubbles throughout. It didn't erupt, but I want to say a few weeks ago the Black Diamond pool, which is right beside it, did erupt, and there was a huge explosion at Yellowstone. So I don't know when that area is going to be opened up again, but right by the Sapphire pool is the Black Diamond pool, and that is the geyser that recently erupted at Yellowstone, and the reason why some people had to evacuate the area. No one got hurt, but it's the Black Diamond pool is right beside the geyser, the Sapphire pool. After that, I hiked back to my car, and then I drove up to the Grand Prismatic pool setup. So the Grand Prismatic pool and the Elixir caliber geyser, immaculate. That Elixir caliber geyser is like a cloud structure in the ground. It's a nice cool blue color, and you just see the fumes up. It's almost like it's fog that's coming from the ground, and it's just constantly fuming and fuming and fuming. Seeing a cool blue color with fumes coming underneath it from the ground is something that I just stared at for a while. I took a lot of pictures, I took a lot of videos, because I just was like, this is like amazing to look at. You get to walk the platform and see it from different angles and etc. And then as you continue on the platform, you get to the Grand Prismatic Spring, which that is just, it's like a I don't want to say it's a football field size, but it's like an area in which you just see a flat surface, but it's a wet surface that has different hues. So you see orange, you see green, blue, purple. like different hues coming from it, and it's just fuming and fuming and fuming as a whole. So I got a chance to do that. And then from there, I continued to hike. I did find a waterfall on that trailhead, which was Mystic Falls. It's like a charcoal black color waterfall. It flows down, but it also has a nice elevation to it. Amazing waterfall there. It's like a it looks like a waterfall that has a slide, like a like if you ever been as a kid been on a playground, how you have a slide. It looks like a waterfall slide, and it just goes and goes and goes. So that was a great viewpoint there. Only thing that I wish if I could go back, I would go to the Fairy Falls trailhead. If I went to the Fairy Falls trailhead, then I could have saw the Grand Prismatic Spring from up top. I've seen it online and pictures, but I wish I had took the Fairy Falls trailhead because I would have been able to see the Grand Prismatic Spring from the top of the mountain going down. It's like a big blob of paint on the ground if you were to ever see it, because you'll see the yellow, green, purple, blue, different, like a blob of a geyser there. So that was pretty much my Yellowstone trip. I also saw Lake Yellowstone, but I'm not gonna say a funny story. So this is how Yellowstone ended for me. So it was after I left the Grand Prismatic Spring trailhead and started heading back, it started thundering and lightning really, really bad. So as I said at the beginning of the story, I went through Grand Tetons Southgate to get back home. Get back to my apartment, with my hotel. So I had to make that trip back. But I had to gas up. Once I gassed up at the gas station there, once I started heading back, it started thundering and lightning real bad. And it felt like a movie scene to me. It's jet black outside, thunder and lightning. It seemed like the thunder like just bouncing off of the lake. The Lake Yellowstone is on both sides. So imagine going through darkness and you just seeing lightning just skirt across the sky. It bouncing off of the road, it's bouncing off the water, it's bouncing off of trees. That was sitting there. I felt like I was inside of a horror movie. It was just insane, just experiencing that. 'Cause I was like, man, I had a great day of hiking, and then I'm sitting here in a thunderstorm, jet black, having to drive about 8 to 10 miles to get out of Yellowstone just to get to Grand Tetons to drive I believe this 20 miles. I think it was about 20 miles from the Grand Tetons Southgate to my hotel, but I made it through. But it was just a matter of it felt like the water was just raging the whole time, and it's a normal sized road as you're driving, but it just seems like having bodies of water on both sides of the road, and it's jet black. It makes you feel as though that water can come out and just skeet out the area and just overwhelm the road and just wash out the road. Is how I felt about that there. But I got through it. So when I got back to my hotel, I got me some dinner. Then I stayed the night, and then I just checked out and drove back down to Salt Lake City, and then I flew out to Kazambel, which was the airport to where Glacier is. So up until this point, Zion was my favorite until I went to Grand Tetons, and then Glacier took over, and to this day, Glacier is my favorite national park. So I landed at Cozumel, got my rental car, and drove about 15 minutes to my hotel, and I had an early start the next day. So because Glacier, just like a lot of national parks, have a time entry reservation requirement. So if you don't have a time entry reservation, then you have to get inside that part of the park by 5 a.m. Before 5 a.m. actually. So got up at 3:30 the next morning, drove the 30 something miles. Well, went to the gas station to grab some snacks. Then I drove the 30 something miles to get to Glacier. So my plan was to go onto the Sun Road, which is probably the most scenic road in America. But that's also where a lot of the scenery is at Glacier. So I will say this: that is another road that if you're someone who's very afraid of hikes, that could be a situation in which you may second guess you going. Because as you're driving along to go into Sun Road, I believe it's like 30 to 40 miles, but it is some tight turns with cliffs to your right. So when you're going up, you got a lot of the cliffs on your right. And then when you're coming back down from going to Sun Road, you're hugging the mountainside. So it's very, very scenic. Of course, me getting in the gate prior to 5, a lot of the scenery that I didn't see coming up, I saw coming back. So my goal first was to go to the St. Mary's Falls trailhead, in which my goal was just to go to Virginia Falls and St. Mary Falls, but I found out that it was 2 more destinations there. It's multiple trails there and sceneries there, but I added 2 more hikes to it. So I started at the Sun Point spot. So Sun Point was very, very scenic. It was like a baby blue water from a distance up from the mountainside. A lot of great fall colors at the time there. So I hiked up the Sun Point, looking down at the lakeside, which was a glacier of blue. Then when I hiked all the way down, it was a shore level, which is crazy. The shore level was clear water, and it had like a nice deck in which you can hang out at. I was the only one there at the time, so I just chilled out on the deck, took some selfies, took some pictures, and then I proceeded back. It was another waterfall that was on that trail, which is the Barren Falls. That was a nice waterfall as well. What I liked about Barren Falls was the fact that it had the water was very clear. It was like the water just streamed down from the mountainside like a shower water pattern, and then but the rocks, blue rocks, green rocks, beige rocks, burgundy rocks, all there. And when you're taking pictures of Barren Falls, those rocks are there. So it's a very, very scenic landscape that is one of a kind. There's a lot of places in which you can just hang out there and just chill out. If you wanted to take a dip in the waterfall, you could. So I spent some time there, and then I proceeded to go towards the St. Mary Falls and the Virginia Falls, because those are in the same area. So hiked up to St. Mary's Falls. So St. Mary's Falls is probably one of the most scenic waterfalls you'll see in America as well. It's like a nice blue-green colored water flow. And what I like about it, it's a bridge that goes across St. Mary's Falls. So when you're getting to that bridge to the right, you'll see the multi-tier of the waterfall. It goes like a zigzag down. And then on the left side of the waterfall, you'll see the waterfall flow down into the lake. But most people who go to St. Mary's Falls, that bridge I mentioned, they jump off of it. It's probably like a 20-foot drop. So a lot of people just get up top there, and it is a jump off the bridge into the water. It's a lot of rock structures to the right and to the left of St. Mary's Falls. So if you don't want to jump into St. Mary's Falls, you can just go down some rock structures and just hang out near the base of the waterfall, and you can see the waterfall descend underneath the bridge to the outskirts there. Or if you cross the bridge and go to the right, then you can make your way down to where the waterfall is. There's a lot of places over there in which you can just hang out as well and get better viewpoints of St. Mary's Falls. I will say this: it's a nice scenic spot, but be very careful. A few weeks ago, someone drowned at the St. Mary's Falls. I don't know how they drowned, but I don't know if they jumped off the bridge and drowned. I don't know if they went to the right where the waterfall descends from, or what. But I will say, to the right of where the waterfall is, right side of the bridge, that waterfall does zigzag down, and it's a lot of big, huge trees that's in the middle of that. So if you were to go to where the waterfall is and slip and fall, there's a good chance that your head could hit against one of those trees, and it could be a detriment to you as a whole. So I'll just say, when you go hiking in general, just make sure you're careful. Most times when you go hiking, you will see something that says, "Please stay on trail." It's the reason why they put "Please stay on trail." The reason why is because they know that that trail, even though a trail could be maintained, but if a trail isn't maintained the way it should be, or if the weather changes, it can pretty much change the dynamic of that trail. It can make a dry trail can now become slippery, muddy, and etc. Also, during certain parts of the day, the weather can change. Saying like in Colorado here, when I go hiking at Rocky Mountain National Park or Roosevelt National Forest or the Indian Peaks Wilderness, no matter where I'm at in Colorado, when I go to the mountain, I'm going to lose 15 to 20 degrees. And even though it didn't snow where I'm at in Colorado, every time I go to the mountainside, you'll see snow on the bridge. I mean, on the mountains. So what that meant is it snowed. It snowed in that area, and temperature tend to drop at nighttime when you're going hiking. So I tell everyone when you're going hiking, make sure you layer your clothes. Like this here, I only pretty much wear Nike all the time. So this is a dry fit Nike that has a lot of technology built in. So if it's hot or cool, it'll adjust to your body heat. But you can also zip it down if you need to get some air in, or just not do anything. I mean, just need to, if you get too hot and you need to cool down, you can always zip it down and etc. Or roll your sleeves up. Or if it's really really cold, it's something here in which I can just put my thumb in and have a little bit more structure with my hands, so I can keep my hand a little cooler or warmer if need be. So just make sure when you're going hiking, you're layering your clothes, looking to see how the weather is. I know with me, I'll go to the All Trails app and see what the prior day, but a lot of hikers said the prior day, just to get an idea of what they saw on the trailhead, and if I need to pack another pair of socks or pack another shirt, hat, or etc. That way I can use what they experienced the following day when I'm going hiking and etc. there. So got to St. Mary Falls, had a great time there. Took a lot of good pictures, a lot of videos. Then I proceeded to go to Virginia Falls. Now, where Virginia Falls is located, Virginia Falls, the waterfall is pretty much a connection to connection to connection. So you'll see multiple waterfalls that descend from Virginia Falls. When you finally get to Virginia Falls, it's a mountainside, and then the water is just flowing straight down, which is insane. I haven't seen a waterfall like that in years. I mean, the water is just coming straight down. Like, it's not no pattern to it. Down, just flowing down. So if you're someone who wants to take a dip, you can. But someone also passed away at Virginia Falls. I don't see how someone passed away at the top of Virginia Falls. Now, Virginia Falls, it flows all the way down the mountainside, so to other waterfalls. Now, there's other waterfalls that's still considered Virginia Falls, in which those areas of Virginia Falls, I can see how you can actually slip and get hurt and possibly pass away, because the angles from Virginia Falls all the way down, it can be muddy, it can get slippery. There's a lot of slippery rocks there, and etc. There's a lot of places in which you can just hang out and chill. Some people just get in front of Virginia Falls and have someone take a picture of it, which you can do that. But I would just say to be very, very careful at Virginia Falls, because it is very, very slippery, and the water is cold at Glacier all year long. So it's not going to be a situation in which, if you decide to take a dip in a waterfall or have the waterfall come down on you, just be mindful that that water is cold. So if you don't have a towel or a blanket or something that can heat you up right after that, it may not be a good idea to actually take a dip in a waterfall and etc. But it's very, very scenic. You'll see phases up that waterfall to your left as you're hiking all the way up to the top, like literally just past St. Mary's Falls, you'll see the first waterfall that stems from Virginia Falls, and it's a nice side waterfall in which you can actually go off trail and actually hang out underneath the waterfall. It's like a cave little area you can hang out at. And then as you're going up, it looks like it's like either clay material as you're hiking up that mountainside, so you could slip. But once you get up top there, it's very, very scenic. Took a lot of pictures and videos up there as well. And after that there, my mind told me to go back to my go back to my hotel, and I wanted to sneak in another trail, and I should not have, because there was a lot of overcast and it looked like it was about to rain. But I was like, well, it ain't gonna rain while I'm up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just sneak in another hike. So I went to the Avalanche Lake trailhead, and my goal was to go to Avalanche Lake. That's the lake in which everyone goes to Glacier. They jump in and go swimming. So that was my intention as well. I was gonna go take a dip. I saw like 5 or 6 different hikers say, hey, make sure when you get up there you take a dip. Like everyone does that here and etc. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I did see the trail of the Cedars right there. So I went and did that trail. Beautiful trail. It's basically a trail of the Cedars. You see a whole bunch of cedar trees on the trailhead. But what I did not know is near the end of it is a loop. It's a waterfall that comes down from the cedar trees, and beautiful waterfall. It's like a mint green color, with some burgundy and cream structures that's flowing, like a rock structure in which the waterfalls are coming down from. Amazing viewpoints from it. So I took a lot of pictures there, took some videos there as well. And then I proceeded to go to Avalanche Lake, which I believe is about 2 miles from there. So I passed a couple people that was coming from Avalanche Lake. They said, yeah, it's beautiful, very scenic and stuff. So I started hiking up there, and then I felt some drip drops. I was like, oh man, I got here. I'm on a couple miles away from Avalanche Lake. Let me see if I can still push through it and get some pictures or some videos before I get there. So I went up there, and I was about a mile away. The sky opened up. So I actually got drenched real bad. The headphones that you see that I have on now, reason why my headphones look like this here is the rain that took place at that water at Avalanche Lake. It pretty much ruined these headphones. These are Sony headphones, and it's the wireless ones with the noise canceling. Like I paid like $400 for these a few years ago, and it took almost a year or so for those headphones to actually dry. I thought at one point it would never work again, and then last year I decided to throw it on a charger, and it started working again. So, but it took a year or two for that to even clear and get better. So I ended up getting rained on real bad. It took a while for my clothes to dry and everything else, but I skipped a step. So after I left St. Mary's Falls, I didn't go straight to Trail of the Cedars and Avalanche Lake. I went to Logan Pass next. So what Logan Pass is, there is a souvenir shop there. You can go there and get souvenirs. I got me a t-shirt and some mugs there. And then Logan Pass is like a nice viewpoint, but you have a hidden lake there. So it started drizzling actually once I left the souvenir shop going to Logan Pass. So started hiking up Logan Pass. It kept drizzling and drizzling. It's a moment I had there in which I know everyone's probably seen the Bone Thugs and Harmony video, Crossroads. It looks like a moment there, which it looks like you're going to the crossroads. Like when people are hiking up the mountainside, it looks like they're going to the crossroads. There's a lot of scenic viewpoints from Logan Pass. Elevation, a lot of elevation gains for sure. You can add to your hike if you like, but you can take a couple side trails and hike up towards a mountainside to see some good viewpoints. I opted against that because it was drizzling. I did see a waterfall that was to the left of the Logan Pass. Crystal clear water, colored rocks. So I took some pictures and some videos there. As I got closer to Hidden Lake, I did run into two mountain goats, which was amazing. There were two separate spots of it. So I took a couple pictures and videos of the mountain goats. They were very, very friendly and etc. That area was just scenic as a whole. So if you ever go to Glacier National Park, definitely check out Logan Pass as well. In addition to the St. Mary's trailhead, which you can see Barron Falls, Virginia Falls, and Sun Point at that trailhead. And then as you're going down to go into the Sun Road, it was now daytime, so I got a chance to see a lot of great viewpoints. The Pegan Pass, I believe, was a trailhead I was there to take some pictures of, or I don't know if that was the name of it, but I know a trail had that name. And then you can see pictures of the mountainside as you're heading on the going to Sun Road back, in which it was some mountains that which they were caved into each other, and when you took a picture of it, you can see it. You can see almost 5 to 6 different mountainsides from that picture. It reminds me of Yosemite National Park when you're taking pictures of the mountainside, like where Half Dome is and other mountains, how certain mountains are concave and you can actually see the different parts of the mountain in one picture. You can see that as well on the going to Sun Road at a turnoff. I also saw a waterfall that extend from a mountain from a distance, so that also looked amazing there. So I got the Hidden Lake, another great scenic backdrop behind. It's almost like a triangle shaped mountainsides with some different colors, like a light navy blue, olive green, a clear color, and etc. Great scenic viewpoint. So as I stated, it was drizzling throughout me hiking on the Logan Pass, getting to not Hidden Valley, but Hidden Lake. So when I got back to my car, it dried up a little bit. There was thunder and lightning, and then it cleared up. So that's why I decided that, hey, it drizzled, it done dried up now. I'm gonna go and try to get Avalanche Lake done, and so the story I said just before that, that's what happened from there. It started drizzling again after I left Trail of the Cedars, and then as soon as I got close to the Avalanche Lake, the sky opened up, rained on me, and that was pretty much the end of my day. I was gonna go back to Glacier the next day, but I ended up hiking like 27, 28 miles that day, and I was totally drenched. It took that whole day for my clothes to dry and etc. So then I hiked so much in that one day, I decided to not go and hike the next day. One thing I was telling anyone, and which is something I need to take heed to myself, if you're gonna go on a hiking trip, try to make yourself an itinerary or what you're gonna do when you get there. Don't just wing it, because with me, if I can go back to that trip, I would have spaced out my time. If I spaced out my time, I probably could have got more things in. Because what I did was, any place that someone suggested that I go hike, or that anyone go hike at a place, I pretty much hit up all of the scenic places that people mentioned, but I ended up missing a lot of places that were also scenic, but someone didn't mention it and others did. So when I go back to Glacier, Grand Tetons, and Yellowstone, I'm not gonna put them into like another week or two hiking trip. Like, I would make it a Grand Tetons and Yellowstone trip, in which if I'm gonna be there for 5 days, I'll spend a couple days at Grand Tetons and a couple days at Yellowstone, and just have a rest day in between, and etc. So you don't want to miss out on moments that that change your life, but also too, you don't know if you're ever gonna get a chance to go back to a place. So we want to make sure if you go there the first time that you maximize that time there. You try to hit up all the trails that you want to hit, or hit up the places that you want to go to get those pictures and etc. So that's what made that trip worthwhile at Glacier. So when I got back to my hotel, I pretty much slept the rest of the day and took the next day just to recover. Um, After that, the following day, I took my rental car back to the Cozumel airport, and I flew to South Dakota, in which my plans were to go to Mount Rushmore. So Mount Rushmore is probably, I know a lot of people when they hear Mount Rushmore, they're thinking about just the four presidents and the monument and etc. But it's way more stuff to do at Mount Rushmore. It's not just the pictures of the presidents there. It's you got a small trailhead there in which you can see the monuments from different areas. But one of the coolest things I saw there was the flags. So when you get into Mount Rushmore and everything, they have every state flag displayed on like a display spot. So it's almost like you're walking through a parade. Like all the U.S. states flags are hanging up at an angle, and you're walking through getting knighted. So being able to walk through each post and be able to see the name of that state when it was ratified and etc. It was amazing viewpoints there. They also have a restaurant and a gift shop there. So they're known for their Huckleberry ice cream, but they had different other ice creams you can get, other snacks you can get while you're there. So if you know me, you know I'm a slush guy. So they had slushes there as well. So I got me a slush and I got me a couple scoops of ice cream, but I didn't get the Huckleberry ice cream, but I did get some couple scoops of ice cream, and they had some nice gift shop stuff in there too. So I ended up spending about $300 or $400 worth of items there. But what got me was I'm an essential oils guy, so they had essential oils built into soap that the locals made. So they had lotion they had goat milk and different essential oils in it. Same thing with soap and etc. Smelled amazing. I bought a whole bunch of the soap and a whole bunch of the lotion. But the sad thing is, when I was traveling to a lot of the 49er games last year, I didn't know I had that lotion in my backpack. So I lost two of those lotions on a trip, on two separate trips, and it sucked. But that lotion smelled so great. It had goat milk and some other different scents to it. But I do have all the soaps there, so I'm gonna use them at some point. I have so much body soap with essential oils and body washes that I haven't got to those bar soaps yet. They smell so great there. So, but the one thing I would tell you to do, and it's if you're someone who loves nature and stories, go to Mount Rushmore in the afternoon before the sun sets. Because what they do, they have a presentation at the amphitheater there, in which they go over the whole history of Mount Rushmore. It's a PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint. Well, it's a theater that they have there, and they actually play a video of how it was made, the person who made it, the significance of it, and how it's protected and everything. Very informative, but what I like most about it was at the end of the presentation, they do a salute to the troops. So if you're in someone who's served in the military before, they ask you to come down to the stage and you'll hold a flag. They play the national anthem, and everyone that's in the stands give you a round of applause. It gives you the ability to meet more veterans that served before. So I got a chance to meet some veterans while I was on stage, hold a flag. It was probably one of the most heartwarming moments of my life, going to Mount Rushmore, being part of the presentation of the salute to the troops at the end. That made it worthwhile. So if you ever want to go see something very, very special at Mount Rushmore, go to Mount Mount Rushmore before the sun sets, watch the presentation of the of Mount Rushmore and the history, grab you some ice cream, some slush, and some snacks before that so you can eat and drink that stuff while the presentation is going on. And at the very end, they do a salute to the troops. So if you're anyone who's ever served in the military, they're gonna ask you to come down to the stage, and they're gonna give you all a round of applause for being a veteran. So that was the highlight of my 2 week trip there. After that, I got back to my hotel, and then the next day I went to Badlands National Park, which unreal. That national park at Badlands is pretty much a stone sculpture national park. It's amazing. There's so many different scenic drives that you can make at Badlands. Seeing the rock structures, I got a chance to see the notch, the window, and a couple of the trails that was there. I also did the scenic drive, but that was just a day trip as well, just like Mount Rushmore, because I was running out of days. But I do want to go back to Badlands as well, and it's a nice um, rope stairs that you can climb up that I wanted to do, but I was almost 2 weeks into the to that hiking trip. I was just exhausted, but it's like a nice you can climb up it's like a rope, but it's bars. You can climb up the bars of rope to get to that spot. So when I go back there, I definitely want to hit that up when I go. But that was pretty much my 2 week hiking trip. I went to Zion National Park, Grand Canyon, North Rim, Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, Glacier, Mount Rushmore, and Badlands. So 6 national parks and 1 monument. I had a blast on that 2 week trip, solo trip. Definitely want to go back at some point. But there's other national parks I've also visited that I want to go back and explore them more. Olympic, I went there last year. The Niners played Seattle on on Thanksgiving last year. So I went there a couple days early. Went to Olympic. So I want to go back to Olympic to see the HOH rainforest, and the beach area, and I want to see all that. I missed it. I did go to Devil's Punch Bowl, which is part of the Spruce Railroad Trailhead. I got a chance to see Lake Crescent, and I got a chance to go to Merrimack Falls, but it's so many things to do there. So I want to go back to Olympic when I get a chance. I was told also that Mount Rainier is muddy during that time of the year. So the airport person told me to go to Olympic compared to Mount Rainier. So I want to go to Mount Rainier as well. And I heard the North Cascades is also there, so I want to go there. So that way I can go to see Crater Lake and all that. I've been to the Arches. I went to the Arches a few years ago. So here's the funny story about the Arches. So everyone pretty much goes there for the Delicate Arch. But it's way more other nice structures there. But going to the Delicate Arch, it's an incline you gotta immediately hike just to get to near that structure. And then when you get there, you gotta go around a structure, and you gotta pretty much toe the line to get to the Delicate Arch. So it's like a trail in which it's little leeway. So it's not too depending on the size of an individual. If you're going to Delicate Arch and you're hugging a mountain, and someone is actually trying to pass you, it's limited. So if the person is too big or not, or don't watch their step, they can fall over and fall off the mountain. So it's a little leeway. So just be mindful, be careful that if you're going to Delicate Arch, and the closer you get there, you get that one spot in which you're gonna be hugging the mountainside to your right, and if someone's trying to get past you, there's not much leeway there. So I saw people with their kids just letting their kids run rapid there. And I'm sitting there like, there's no way you guys are letting your kids run in this condensed spot. Someone had their baby in the stroller, another baby just running rampant. I'm like, it's no leeway. A false step, you off the mountain. So I was just shocked that people just had their kids out there just running. That's just reckless behavior to me. But when I got to the Delegate Arch, so the Delegate Arch is also on a decline. So with Delegate Arch, it'd be sitting like right here. But what people don't tell you is what the Delegate Arch is. That loop that goes through the Delegate Arch, that's the cliff that's going straight down. So I've seen people actually go to the Delegate Arch down there, jump up and down, and etc. I'm like, the cliff is right there. Like you can't, you got to decline, you got to descend down that the rock structure just gets to Delegate Arch, and it's at an angle. And a lot of people dropped their water and it went off the cliff. Someone dropped their camera, it went off the cliff. So it's at a decline. So I was just telling them, if you go to the Delegate Arch, just be careful because it's at an angle, and right on the back side of the Delegate Arch is the cliff. You can clearly see the cliff there, and people just was running up there, just doing wild and crazy stuff. And luckily, no one fell off the cliff. But just be careful with that there. But that was my funny story, just seeing people, water bottles fall off the cliff, a camera fell off the cliff, people letting their kids just run around and with little latitude and etc. So just be mindful of that. Another national park I've gone to is the Congaree National Park. I'm actually from that area, so I could literally just leave from where I'm from and just drive 10 miles down the road, and I'm at the Congaree National Forest. So I'm not sure why people come down here for that. I mean, come down there for that. It's pretty much just a swamp with a whole bunch of Gatorades there. I mean, alligators there. So, but a lot of people go to Congaree, check it out. Been down, born and raised in South Carolina, and that national park is literally 10 miles from my mother's house. It's not a bad place to go. Of course, me being in Colorado, Rocky Mountain National Park. I've been there 12 times. Where else have I been national park wise? That might be it. Oh, I've been to Yosemite before. I've been to Yosemite and Cali. When I go back to Cali, if I go for a couple days, I plan on going to Pinnacles, checking that out. I also want to go to Kings and Sequoia National Park. I want to go to Death Valley National Park. There's a couple national parks in Oregon I want to go to as well. The Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, I believe I've been there. So I've been to a total of 17 national parks so far. So it's been a blast. So I'm probably gonna cut off live in a few minutes, but I want to say to everyone, thank you so much for being a part of my live. I'm almost at 1,200 views on this live, which is double the highest I've ever had. So thank you for being a part of my live. I really appreciate everyone from taking the time to be on my live, listening to my funny stories. And most importantly, everyone, I thank you for your prayers. I thank you for your encouragement. I thank you for all the suggestions that people give regarding my content. So I would just ask everyone a favor. If you're not a subscriber, definitely take a look at my content. And if you just want to look at some of my playlists, look at the playlists. If you don't have the time to look through, I believe I have close to 1,100 videos. If you don't have the time to go through 1,100 videos, go to one of my playlists and check out some of the playlists. So whether you like waterfalls, I also got a playlist of wildlife I've seen on trails. So elk, deers, mooses, marmots, and etc. Check those out if you're a nature lover and you like seeing wildlife. You'll see a lot of wildlife I've seen on trails as well in there. The waterfalls, lakes, rivers, streams, and etc. And hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any moments like this live here, or any other place that I've visited and uploaded. So usually when I go hiking on a particular day, I start uploading my material that evening, because I want to get that information out as soon as possible. So I am someone who uploads throughout each week. So definitely check out my content. And as always, everyone, I love what I do. I take pride in the content that I capture. I know that I'm a work in progress and there's things I can do to get better. So anything that you see that you think I can get better at, any suggestions that you have, definitely let me know in the comments. I do check the comments every day. So oftentimes if someone leaves a comment, I'll go and like the comment and doing it and and hit the heart sign. And if it's a question someone asks, I'll go into and I'll respond back to that question with, because some people may ask where something is located, or they may just have a funny comment, and I'll respond back to that comment. So again, I take pride in it. I'm very humble. Anything you say, whether it's positive or negative, I won't get offense. I won't be offensive to it. Criticism, positive or negative, was only going to make me better. So I'm going to do my best to get better at it. I know at some point I'm going to purchase me either a Sony or a Canon camera, so I can not rely on my phone and be able to take some pictures. But my Android camera takes great pictures and videos. So I know that's long down the road in which I'll do it. Also, if you wish to contribute to my channel, in addition to likes, comments, and subscribing, I do have a Cash App. My Cash App is Living with a Purpose 20. If you type in Living with a Purpose 20, you'll see my initials pop up, which is BP. So B as in Bravo, P as in Papa. Definitely any contribution that you give, definitely go towards the upkeep of my channel, whether it's software or gas to get to a hiking trail, or for the camera that I wish to purchase at some point. So either way, I appreciate everyone's time. It means a lot to me for you visiting my channel. It means a lot to me to you making suggestions. It means a lot to me when you saying that, hey, keep uploading the content. We appreciate what you're doing. It lets me know that I have a purpose here and that I'm doing something that everyone's likes. So keep telling me any suggestions that you have. I do appreciate it. And again, I'm going to do my best to give you the best content as possible. I know sometimes I may throw on some CapCut enhancements off of templates, but 99% of the time, everything I upload is raw. So it's just as if I just took the picture or I took the video and just captioned it there. I know I'm gonna try to get better with the titles of the videos, but I have learned a lot over the last few months to get the pictures. I mean, to get my naming conventions better for my videos. So I'm hoping to get that mastered within the next few weeks or so. But again, everyone, it's been a blast on the YouTube channel. Stay tuned for my next adventure. Could be tomorrow, could be Saturday, could be tonight. So definitely stay locked in. Continue to spread the word to everyone about my channel. Tell your friends, co-workers, your family members that, hey, if you want to see some good YouTube content, go to Traveling with Promise. He has everything. He has wildlife. He has waterfalls. He has lakes, rivers, streams, landscapes, and etc. So that's what you're going to see on this channel. I'm going to continue to do my best to capture the moments that I have in my life and sharing it with the world. That's the purpose of my channel. I want to share every moment that I have that I experience fun. I experience something that so amazing that everyone needs to see it. And it's not too many times on a trail in which that doesn't happen. I've been blessed to see bears, elk, mammoths, mooses, regular mooses, bull mooses. I've seen a lot of trails, so it just so happened when I've gone, I was able to see it. Frozen lakes, frozen mountainside, seeing people ski off a mountainside with their dog. Like I've seen some wild and crazy stuff here in Colorado, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Again, everyone, thank you for everyone who's again that's been on this journey with me. I said that 2024 didn't start out that well, but it was going to end well, and it's going in the right direction. So I'm very happy about the next chapter in my life with the federal government. Stay tuned for that too. Not quite sure where I want to go next. I do have 2 offers on the table in Virginia and DC, but my preference is to be either still here in Colorado or west of Colorado. It can be northwest, southwest. I just want to be as close as I can because I can get a lot of hiking done here in the Midwest and West Coast, and there's a lot of great opportunities to sightsee and everything there. So any suggestions that anyone has, let me know. But this again, everyone, I'm gonna continue to fight the good fight here on YouTube. I'm a shade under 300 hours, so I have a lot of watch hours that I still need to get monetized. So anytime, any chance you get to check out my content, definitely do so. I'm 2,700 hours away from being monetized at the minimum side, and then I'll still need another 1,000 hours to get the commercials and the ads and stuff there. So that's why I think with my playlist is if I were to get a lot of plays on my playlist, is that could get me a lot of my watch hours and watch time that I need. So that's the only thing I ask. If you're on my channel, definitely I got a lot of shorts, but shorts don't count towards watch time and watch hours. Only thing that counts towards watch hours is going live and your long form. So all of the forms, all of the videos that have landscape videos, those are the only ones that count, except for the lives. So thank you in advance for everything that you do for my channel again. And if you wish to support it again as well, like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to monetarily contribute to my channel, my Cash App is Living with a Purpose 20. Living with a Purpose 20 is my Cash App, and you'll see my initials BP as my name on there. So I'm gonna sign off because I haven't been on live in a week or so. So I believe I owed it to the viewers to go live the longest I've ever been, which is today. I'm close to an hour and 40 minutes of going live. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your time, your effort, and you just taking the time just to give me a reason to smile. Because my goal is to give everyone a reason to smile with my content. Anyone that likes and comments gives me a reason to smile and lets me know that I'm doing something right and I'm doing something that someone really, really loves and enjoy. It means a lot for me to be on YouTube. It means a lot for you to come on my channel, and it means a lot for you to comment, subscribe, and like anything I put on my channel. So I appreciate what you do, and I hope that you appreciate everything that I do to give you a reason to smile. I really hope that I can touch the lives of individuals and give you a reason to take your mind away from whatever going on in your life. So if you got things going on in your life and you just need to escape, come to my channel. I got so much content on this channel, you can just escape with the places I visited. You can just watch a playlist of waterfalls. You can just go check out different animals I have on the channel. You can just check out different viewpoints. If you need an escape, come on my channel and just check out the content. I promise you it will take your mind off what you got going on in life. It'll give you the reason to smile, and it may be something that gives you the unction to go to where I visited. Or you may have a question of where you wanted to go visit. I may already have gone there before, and I may already have the content on the channel. So definitely check out the channel, see if it's a place that you want to visit. I may already have it there. And if you have any questions about a place I've visited, based on, okay, if I go to Bora Bora, what's a good place to go? Or you're going to Paris, what's a good place to go? If you reach out to me, I can let you know what would be the best place to go. I can let you know what I did there, and what was fun, what wasn't fun, any experiences that I had. I'm an open book. I would share any moment that I've experienced in my life with anybody, especially if it's something that can help you make a decision, or it can be something that can save you money. I'm all about just sharing with the world all of my experiences, good or bad, in different places. I can give you my itinerary of what I did when I was there, and things that could actually make it worthwhile for you. So I'm definitely just, again, everyone, I'm excited about the future, and not only for my future, but also your future. So I hope everyone had a great and prosperous week. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And just know that everything's gonna work out for you. You gotta keep the faith, and always just be positive, and things will work out in due time. As you've been on my live, I definitely just love what I do, and I want to do the best that I can to put a smile on your face. Stay tuned for my next adventure. Stay blessed, stay humble, and just know the best is yet to come. Godspeed. Until the next one. See you later.